Can you have me down here quickly, please?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Never seen your legs.
So you like.
So-so. So-so? No. This is my dad. Oh, his friend didn't work. Hello. It was her husband.
Now hang on a minute, they're just coming out, aren't they?
That'll be in your ring.
Yeah? 3. One more. Yes, oh yes, yes. Drive crossing on top. Okay. 2 seconds.
Are we going for a drive?
Just literally just down the road and back again till the digger.
Lovely. Okay, thank you. Next one. Can the video camera move, please?
Come around.
Just look this way, sir. That's it, lovely. One more. Peace at last.
You don't live here.
Right, okay, then eyes front this way, that's it. Right, next. Socks are happier if I'm right. This one is okay. Right, ice front please. Come in. One more. Nice smile, come on. Come on. Okay, next front. Oh, we do have trouble, don't we? Nice smile, come on. Good. Next. They're all waiting for you to speak, you see. Let's smile this way.
Stay there.
Makes her feel better. One more. This way, please.
Last one. Yeah. Mr. Photographer. That's all right. Catch you off that one.
Right, eyes front, please. Nice smile, lovely. That's it. One more.
59 minutes.
Right, can you go back a bit on that side? Backwards. Can you go back? That's it. Come out. That's it.
Talk back, man. We did. I'm quite sure I'm going to run his wire in a minute.
Thank you.
Well, just pause there. Just pause there. Just look a bit. That's it. Okay, down you come. Hang on, wait there, wait there. Come over this side. Hang on. This way, please.
Keep stay there.
Nice smile, come on. Okay, right. Right, give me the corner.
Please, come on.
Thanks, Bonnie.
I should save it for later, actually. You know, it's most of the time tonight. Excuse me. You've got Sunday, you see, I'm away time. Sorry.
Does the photographer want another picture here? Yeah?
All done. Probably not.
Sarah.
Up at the bottom of the road, Hector.
Did you manage to get that shot?
If you look to your right, there's a yellow box in here.
They were enjoying the ride too much.
You don't know.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
John, let's go around.
I just can't tell.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Now just drop your hand right back so I can't see it. Mark around. Yes.
Right.
A bit more. I still see it. That's it.
Okay.
Lovely. Okay. Just place the knife on the table. Don't cut it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Lift your head towards me. This is why when I get one out. Do that. Nice smile, come on. Just looking at the paper as if you're about to cut it. That's the idea of just look at each other. That's it, that's better.
Well, I think I can find it.
One more, this time, just look towards me. And the bride just tilt your head that way. That's it, lovely. Oh, the bride.
Let's do it without them. Let's do it without them.
You made this one go into the plane up there. No. You just go ahead.
You're going to head start with me, yes.
Oh, thanks.
Jealousy will get you nowhere. You managed superbly well.
Antidote. Iris. Brain.
All right. Play again.
Yes. You got it. Ellen.
He's not finding it a defeat.
That's far enough.
Come on, Eddie.
Press that red button.
But then you should stand there, shouldn't you?
Yeah, it will do.
Well, I was thinking we could keep these out and then just go through these. Black seems just about 10 to. Sorry, sir.
Oh, lovely.
An angel.
Get that one out of the way.
Yeah.
Now.
I'm going to spend my time.
Why were you going back?
Okay, come over here. Just keep still.
Nice conversation now, please. None of that language again.
We'll ask him when he turns it on.
Sorry. Always get you at the best
Well, I'd like to start by thanking you all yet again for coming here today and helping to make this such a special day, not only for Sarah and Hector, but for the two families involved. Some of you have motored hundreds of miles, two of you have flown thousands of miles. And it really is a delight to see you all. It's always nice to renew old acquaintances and make new ones. I've always thought of weddings as being a time really for the ladies. They wear their, I'll call it best linen tucker. They put on their lovely sexy hat, which I've always found since a turn on. One at a time. Please. And at this age, one. And look, you all feel very proud and pleased with yourselves. Well, I feel very proud and pleased today. As I look at Sarah, I think she looks lovely. And it's very pleasing and it gives me much pride. So I look at my other two daughters, much the same goes. And I say to the three of them, that if there is a heaven above for a month's washing, she'll be just as pleased. Right, well now, Sarah and Hector, I suppose we're seeing them off, as you might say, in the nicest sense, on what I've always called the voyage of life, or the trip of life, whichever way you want to see it. They're launched on their boat or ship, and they have their charts of life in front of them. The first of which is really clearly marked. They know where they're going, they can see what obstacles they've got to clear, and they're all set. As they carry on and the charts get turned over, they eventually end up with a series of charts with absolutely damn all on them, except for a series of destinations. It's their job as joint captains of the ship to decide the route they're going to take to get there. And there, of course, the fun and games starts. It's not difficult to steer a course. It's, I suppose the difficult problems occur when there are these obstacles that get in the way, some of which you can see and some of which you can't. It's always been my view that those that we say we can't see, and we're all in the same boat, as one might say from this standpoint, we say we can't see them. In fact, it's not true. In many, many cases, things you can't see, which should be below the surface, there are always signs which you can look for. It's a bit like sailing in a dinghy. You can be sailing along. I know, Hector, you've done sailing in dinghies, haven't you? Yeah. And you can be sailing along with plenty of water under the keel and a good old fair wind. And it's very exhilarating. And all of a sudden you look up and you see seas breaking in front of you, but you can't see what's causing it. It's an indication that there are problems ahead. And I reckon that in general, this often happens in life. The trouble is, with most of us, we don't damn well see it until it's too late, and then we see it in hindsight. But these can be business problems. You see, I'm not talking about necessarily personal problems. I mean, there are so many damn things that happen nowadays which you've got absolutely no control over. But I'm sure that Hector and Sarah are well capable of steering their ship wherever they want it to go and achieving whatever they want to achieve. And I would simply ask you to stand and drink with me a toast to the bride of the groom, Hector and Sarah.
This is actually a very, very important speech that I'm going to have to introduce now, because it's possibly the last time that this guy will get a word in edgeways. So I really ask you to all listen attentively to Mr. Hector MacDonald.
Thank you very much, Robert. That was a real good setup. Right, I believe my speech has to be short and sweet. Well, short.
That was short.
my wife and I and my wife. I'm going to get used to it.
That's all you're Britain.
I'm going to do three things. I'm going to thank people. I'm going to speak a bit about Sarah and I, just to put the meat in the bones for you. I didn't mean it to quite. And then thirdly, I'll take a barometer reading at the end of the first bit. I'll either sit down or stand up, because I know that Robert's going to slate me afterwards. So we'll start with the thank yous. Reiterate what Ron said. Thanks everybody for coming, because it makes it very special for us and both our families today. These people come from a long way. Auntie Joan, cousin Jackie being the furthest travelled from Canada. But a lot of people come down from Scotland. There's a noisy table over there. And good relations over here. We actually got our way putting them over there, by the way. But Exeter, Manchester, London, Nottingham, there's not many people actually live here. But there is some locals, and they've come down in good force, and I thank you all for making the effort. It means a lot to us. I thank you for witnessing and sharing our day today. A very special thanks to Michael Fish, who got it wrong. And a second special thanks to the big man upstairs for listening to my little prayers in terms of the weather today. Now I'd just like to go on to thank a few specific people. Firstly, to my father-in-law, Ron. I'd like to thank Ron sincerely on 3 counts. 1, for having this beautiful lady to my right. 2, for providing everything today. The venue, the food, the transport, photography, flowers, the harvest, the lot. And thirdly, for helping organise today and being special. Okay? But there's a final irony. Couldn't get away without this. Despite his reluctance to don a skirt, let alone pay for them all, he looks so well in it. Okay. More thanks, specific thanks. The next one is to my mum and dad. Not particularly for having me or raising me, but especially for Mum making it here today. That means an awful lot to us. She's a very special and determined lady. She's defied medical pundits who said she'd never walk again. She's defied the intensive care ward at Monklands General Hospital at least 3 times. And I totaled it up, Mum, and I reckon it's 14 days that you've had in the intensive care ward. And eventually, finally, she'll probably defy gravity. From Sarah and I really am pleased that you're here. Okay? Right, thanks to Murray and Megan for carrying out their duties. Today they're looking very pretty in the case of Megan. Sorry, son. Very smart in the case of Murray. Yeah. And the behaviour's been pretty good. Very good. I'm getting digs left and right here. But remember, kids, it's not every day that you do attend your dad's wedding. And even then, it's only once. apparently it's customary. Thanks, bud. And also, like Ron, there was an initial refusal to don the skirt, but subsequently they were tempted by the traditional Scottish game, which we'll play later. Do you know your husband? Where basically we, I have a few props here, excuse me. Basically we picked... We pick a blindfold and don one respective wife with the blindfold, lining up 6 kilted brochs. And the lady has to feel from ankle to top of thigh and recognise her husband. All 6 people partaking in this. And all of a sudden, Tony, Barnett, and Peter, who are the ushers, they were very interested in donning the Another, I'm sorry there's all these thanks, but it's justified, believe me. Jan and Pete. Pete, the usher. Jan and Pete have been so supportive of Sarah and I that it's been quite embarrassing. Pete particularly has organised everything. I don't know who got lost today, but everybody else got here because of Pete, and they have just been so supportive, and I really do appreciate it. Both of us appreciate it. I hope yours isn't as long, Robert. Now, a few wee specific thank yous to follow. Stuart Murray. Without Stuart, who's sat over there, being here today, none of us would be here today, because he took me out one night when I was coming back from the golf at St Andrews, worse for wear, and he said, "Come on," and I said, "No, I can't." He says, "Come on." And who did I meet that night but this lovely lady? And Stuart, I'll get you back. Do you know when we met? It was actually Friday, the 13th of July, 1990. And here we are. Okay. I have to make up my mind, Frank. I'll get rid of these thanks now, but I still mean them. It's thanks to the hotel, food was good, grub was great. Thanks to the harpist, because she took a lot of tension out of I think speech makers particularly, but things in general. Thanks to the piper for making us all, or half of us, homesick. And thanks to the vicar who actually put a little sort of personal overlay on the whole thing. That pleased me a lot. And thanks to my best man Robert, but I must say that is a reserved thanks. I'll wait to hear what he has to say first. And I don't know if this is decorum, but I'm going to thank the bridesmaids as well. Okay? They look gorgeous. And thank you for taking care of my wife, the two of you. Okay? And finally, my final thanks goes to my wife for making me a very happy, a very proud, and a very lucky man. Can I go on now? Do that when you want to. Stop. Right. That's the thanks over, thank God. It took me longer than I anticipated. Now, I'm just going to do another couple of cards. A few words about me and my better half. Well, I've always referred to her for 6 years nearly as better half, because when people meet you go, and this is not my wife, it's not exactly my girlfriend, we're cohabiting together, and it's always been a better half scenario. And one of the things I'm looking forward to is no longer referring to Sarah as my better half.
Dear tame son. You just said a rude word.
hear it later. For Sarah, spirited, organised, honest, principled, successful, beautiful, young, rich, good stock, good sport. Some of our positive attributes. Don't want me to miss out the rest.
Well, it's up to you, darling.
It was nearly 6 years ago now we met, and she's just helped me enormously. It's been fantastic. For the first year, it's not all been roses. There's a few thorns in there as well. But the first year was a lot of mileage between Glasgow, or Greenock rather, and Dunblane. That's where we both lived. And we enjoyed each other's company, and we went on many holidays. Germany with Jan and Pete, Cyprus, Crete, so on, great. But we were still figuring each other out. No mention of marriage at that point. Then we went to my sister and brother-in-law, that's Fiona and Frank, on this table here. One of Frank's sisters has a lovely little Jeep or French guy. And they said, why don't you go over there, enjoy yourselves. And we went over there. And we had a very special holiday, very nice summer holiday for a week. And reflecting on this time, this is when I think, and this is where it, no, I think that's where we fell in. And it went rapidly, it was the first time I came down to Kent, it went from just to try and capture the thing, take a good look at Kent, because this is the last time you'll be coming back, mate, because we weren't getting on. And that was the mood in the late 1990s. And then, early 1991, I sold my house in Greenock. A few of my Greenock pals here tonight. My best man might be a pal after tonight as well, he's from Greenock. And I moved in with Sarah, but there was a problem. There was Liz, the lodger, and it was a very modern flat, but I felt like a bit of a cuckoo. We were getting on great, and Liz, the lodger, got the message, and shortly took short shift, which we're very sorry about, but there you go, folks.
I lost a source of revenue.
No, you took on a source of revenue.
A source of debt.
Let me get that knife out of my bag. So I was in Dunblane from Greenock. That's a real culture shock. That's like beam me up Scotty. That is really, for people that don't know, if you say Greenock, if somebody says, I don't know, Greenock's like a nice little town on the sort of the Adriatic of the Clyde estuary. But Dunblane is just something else, apart from recent events in Dunblane, but Dunblane is just a very, very nice place. And we had a great time there. I made lots of friends, and Sarah was taking on my kids visiting quite regularly, and we had really good time, good jobs, good life, but still no mention of marriage. For the next 2 years, we learned about each other seriously, and I've lost my place here. For the next 2 years, we continued to learn about each other seriously. And we loved and we hated each other, ironing out all the terms common for the future negotiations. And the best part of falling out with such a spirited Hatfield, and I have to say to the body of the Kirk present, they are bloody spirited, is the making up. That is the best thing about it. It's the making up with these Hatfields. And I know where you're coming from, boys. So those who have witnessed over previous years our tiffs to rampaging carnage now know why. And Sarah, isn't it about time we finished again?
Yeah, it's about that time.
You've grovelled enough.
A little bit more grovel here, pal.
But do you know what tiff means? Say it.
But seriously, she was great. She had more to give than I had to give. And it's been a bit unbalanced. I'm trying to redress that balance, honestly. She restored my pride. She restored my reason, my ambition, all of which I will be grateful for eternally. And in 1993, we moved down to England, to better jobs, better prospects, to Nottingham. Digs at first, but then our first house together. Things were still mainly one way, but I was struggling a bit, but the house was our first real commitment to each other, and that was in '93. And we started these new jobs, both of us, about the same time. There were 3 months between each of them, where Sarah went to Metal Box in Mansfield, and I was working in Sutton Nashfield, and we did really well. We did so well that we both get pinched by the people we were working for, their competition, and now Sarah's working in Southall, which if London needed an enema, it would be in Southall. And I work in Wellingborough, or as one of my Australian colleagues says, Wellingbaruga. And this is early '94, and careers then were definitely in danger of taking over. Time and travel ruled, and we see less and less of each other. But we need more support from each other in that circumstance, and that actually polarised our thoughts to saying, let's give it a commitment, let's go for it, let's do it. So, work, although successful, is very strenuous. We know we love each other and we have common interests like food, drink.
That's about it, actually.
We have got 4 common interests, right? Food, drink, travel and friends.
For God's sake, helping.
I think if you get 4 things, on parallel, you're halfway there, which is food, drink, travel and friends. So on the 16th of October, Sarah's birthday, 1994, Hector gets down on one knee in a restaurant in the Carden Park Hotel in Cheshire. It was supposed to be at 9,000 feet in an air balloon, where I aspired to be a member of the Mile High Club. But the big man up there didn't approve, and he turned the weather. So I was down on one knee in the restaurant, and I popped the question, and she said yes. She bubbled a bit, and we exchanged the rings, and here we are. So, now it's a flat in Windsor, it's a house in Nottingham, it's a quick fix to Kent for debauchery, it's a quick fix to Scotland, just so that I don't get too homesick. And it's still pretty burdensome. But when we're in the Seychelles, on Monday, we're going to take a wee look about how we go from here. Because there's more to life than just chasing your wish. And we're going to get some perspective on these demands. It's been good to us, but now we need to plan the way ahead. So here we are today, surrounded by friends and family, good wishes and kind thoughts, mainly. And my thoughts are about my newly wedded wife, and Nori, this is where you thought I was grovelling before. Do I love her? Always have. Well, since France '91. But always will. And I would like to toast you, Sarah McDonald's, as the best thing that's ever happened to me. Please be upstanding.
Do this. But keeping the protocol as well, that does everybody's still got something in their glass? I won't be happy, because can I just ask you to stand up again and I'll toast the bride to you. Please be standing. Unaccustomed as I am, I mean, I guess that's the way you hear most of these speeches at weddings start. But I've basically got to say that I really do feel unaccustomed at this one, because I'm quite frankly unaccustomed to standing publicly and talking about such a self-proclaimed success story as Hector McDonald, PLC. Hector, the director. Now the stage is set.
Don't mention the words, rather.
As you sit here enjoying the fruits of the Garden of Kent, and Hector now contemplates what's going to happen with the peach of Kent later tonight. Quite an opportune moment to take you on a wee trip into the mean and low down world that was Hector's previous career. Now, this career actually began on the island of Bute in a place called Rossie, which is, for our English friends probably don't know, is a wee island in the Clyde. It actually used to be very important, because it used to be where all the rich folk from Glasgow went for their holidays. And it was referred to as Scotland's Madeira. So you can imagine it was a good start when Scotland's Madeira get Scotland's fruitcake working there. Summer season.
I get something I can throw.
Anyway, Hector he was always an entrepreneur, and despite the Scottish weather, sorry, camera there. Despite the Scottish weather, he decided to start up a business in rowing boats. He worked really hard the first summer, and he rowed and bloody rowed. And no matter how hard he tried, he just could not compete with the new roll on, roll off. One of his mates from Rothsey actually suggested that he uncoupled some of the boats. It only gave him a few extra minutes. But undaunted, Hector moved on and he took the high road to Glasgow to become a salesman. Serious bit here, because I'm somewhat of a rather successful salesman myself. I can tell you that the key to launching a successful sales career is find yourself a good company with well-known brands and household names. But enough of that, I'll tell you what Hector did. He actually chose a company whose flagship brand was Granny's Soup. Now, I'm actually glad to say that a lot of our English cousins here thankfully don't know what Granny's Soup is. And that's all credit to the English government who put a trade embargo on it. Although I believe that some of it actually ended up in Sellafield for recycling. Just to put this into perspective, I've actually brought along the recipe for it. It's quite simple. You take copious amounts of grass, add water, boil for as long as you like, and you serve it to those you want to set up relationships with. Anyway, this was where I first met Hector, and I was actually a buyer at the time, and I took pity on him, and probably because of that, he made a success of Granny's Soup. And then he took the low road to England, where he became known to his friends as Hector the Defector. And he dabbled in all sorts of things like, well, let me see, selling tin boxes, or dealing in glue and other banned substances. At that